Well, you're not gonna see Mike get hurt against Jake Paul. That's why they put on 16-ounce gloves and headgear. They didn't put that on to protect Mike. So I think the 16-ounce gloves and the headgear are not there to protect the legend Mike Tyson. They're there to protect the young kid who knows not what he does by stepping in the ring.
Boxing pros are terrified after seeing Mike Tyson's physique for the Jake Paul fight. However, British boxing veteran Ricky Hatton believes that this fight should not happen. Hatton believes that Tyson, who will be 58 by the time of the fight, is in remarkable shape for his age, but should not be stepping into the ring. The ex-heavyweight champion must undergo brain and heart scans to be cleared for the match, which Hatton has labeled a total farce. Hatton told Lord Ping that someone needs to have a word and try to stop it from happening. "I've always said that the influencer fighting game is entertainment, and I've never really had an issue with influencer boxing. UFC fighters fighting boxers, YouTubers fighting rappers. Whatever it is, if people want to watch it, then that's fine. Let's call it entertainment." Hatton remarked that Mike was looking good for his 58 years, expressing that he himself wouldn't mind looking like Mike at that age and noting that Mike appeared explosive. Hatton emphasized that if Mike could land a hit on Jake Paul's chin, he would knock him out decisively. Hatton added, "Mike is looking good for his 58 years. I wouldn't mind looking like him at that age. He looks explosive. Trust me, if he can hit Jake Paul on the chin, he'll knock him into the middle of next week. I've seen Tyson on the pads, and he looks sharp, but he's 58. Can he maintain it at his age? Your body isn't conditioned to take the punishment that will come back to you." Moreover, Hatton commented that if Jake Paul were to knock out Mike, he would be knocking out one of his heroes, raising the question of how Paul could live with that on his conscience. He emphasized that regardless of the amount of money involved, it would be difficult for Paul to look at himself in the mirror. Hatton expressed, "I think it's completely crazy. It's a joke. I don't mind the exhibition fights when the matchups are even, but this one is on another level completely." Michael Bisping is convinced that the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson bout is an ill-conceived pairing, despite the controversy that has enveloped the fight since its announcement. Doubts about its validity intensified after Tyson recently encountered a health scare during a flight from Miami to Los Angeles. The emergency was ultimately diagnosed as an ulcer flare-up, and the 57-year-old has since confirmed he is in good health. Nevertheless, with the bout now officially recognized as a professional fight, many fans remain worried about the ex-boxer's well-being. In his most recent YouTube video, former UFC champion Michael Bisping addressed this very topic, saying this is just a great example of why a fight like this should not be going ahead. Mike Tyson is not the same person. Michael Bisping emphasized that his comments were not intended to criticize Mike Tyson. He was merely stating the reality that Tyson would struggle to maintain his stamina over the course of 8 rounds. On the other hand, Jake Paul, who is arguably at the peak of his physical condition, would have a significant energy advantage due to his youth. This disparity in age and energy is why Bisping thinks Iron Mike should avoid a fight with Jake Paul at this point in his life. But even with all of the controversy, Tyson still has a lot of faith in his skills. He even used X to provide fans with a health update. Mike Tyson has assured everyone that he's doing well. After experiencing an ulcer flare-up, the 57-year-old boxing legend appears to be back in training for his upcoming bout with Jake Paul. Although Tyson remained silent about his health during the incident, he recently shared an update with fans on X, saying he is now feeling 100%, even though I don't need to beat Jake Paul. Mike Tyson asserts that he doesn't need to be in peak condition to defeat Jake Paul. While this might have been accurate 10 or 20 years ago, the current situation is quite different. Observing his recent bout with Roy Jones Jr., it's clear that Tyson no longer possesses the speed and ferocity that once defined him. Conversely, Paul has been showing steady improvement with each fight. Therefore, it appears that this match will be a challenging one for Iron Mike. Meanwhile, in a twist of fate, Mike Tyson was handed a somber prophecy that notwithstanding his relentless dedication to training, fate decreed he would face only 2 rounds against Jake Paul in their impending clash. Barry Hearn, the esteemed head of Matchroom Sport and patriarch of boxing promoter Eddie Hearn, voiced grave apprehension regarding Tyson's comeback, deeming it a perilous venture.
You can understand Netflix's approach.
And Tyson could win, by the way. I mean, he's still in pretty amazing shape. He's still got a big punch.
If he doesn't win quickly, he can't win because, you know, I don't believe the other guy's much of a fighter, but he's fit and he trains and he's young. 2 rounds, no matter when you're 59 years old, 2 rounds max, Tyson's going to be blowing out of his backside if he's still, because it's quite dangerous, boxing at that level.
Acknowledging his initial doubts, Hearn concedes to the undeniable allure of the lucrative prize awaiting the contenders in the ring, while also grasping the strategic rationale driving Netflix's involvement. He underscores the immense pressure on Tyson, intimating that any prolonged bout could drastically erode Tyson's odds of success.
Crazy world, don't we? Where that younger generation is built off views, built off narrative, built off controversy, and as a hardcore fight fan, someone that's been around boxing since I was 9 years old, I find it disgusting that a 58-year-old man
59, yeah.
who was my hero.
Tyson promptly dismissed rumors implying that both he and Paul would wear headgear and utilize 18-0 gloves. Previously, Eddie had downplayed Paul's boxing skills, labeling him as nothing more than ordinary. He echoed similar sentiments to those voiced by others regarding the imminent showdown.
Financial point of view, with the amount of money that man was paid or partially paid during his career, to get in the ring with a 25-year-old guy who can't really fight. But for me, I understand it, and speaking to the Netflix guys the other day, I don't think they like my criticism of the event. I'm never gonna lie to you. I'm never gonna sugarcoat it. I'm just gonna give you my honest opinion, which is it will sell, people will watch, it will be a big event, and
There was some buzz circulating online about the upcoming fight, possibly including 16-0 gloves and headgear. But renowned MMA journalist Ariel Helwani just spilled the beans, revealing that the match will mirror Tyson's previous bout with Jones Jr. in 2012. On that occasion, they went glove to glove without head protection, sporting 12-0 gloves. Despite the lack of headgear, Jones Jr. is confident Tyson won't sustain any injuries in their next showdown. Additionally, Roy Jones Jr. expresses his belief that squaring off against the formidable Iron Mike could present a formidable challenge for Paul, reflecting on his own encounter with Tyson. Jones Jr. offers a cautionary note to Jake Paul. If he hits anybody square on the chin, it's going to be problematic. I don't care who it is if it's a fight. It's very interesting to see how it may turn out. He admitted that Paul has improved with each fight, but Mike Tyson, even at 58 or however old he is still Mike Tyson. When I boxed him, he still punched like Mike Tyson. Jones also warned that if Mike comes out and does what Mike normally does, then it's going to be a tough situation. Jake Jones openly confessed his admiration for Paul, commending him as a commendable individual flourishing in his boxing pursuits. He saw the scenario as a prime promotional prospect, benefiting both Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Jones said, "I like Jake Paul. He's a good guy, and he's doing well with his boxing stuff. I think it's a good promotional situation for him and Mike. They should get really good numbers, especially after upgrading to a real fight." Finally, he considered that there was still hope for Paul. If Jake can stay away from him for 4 or 5 rounds, then Jake has a chance, but he's going to have to do a lot of maneuvering to stay away from him. Meanwhile, Jake Paul recently said that he might have taken on more than he could handle during a pod session. He said this is definitely the toughest, most savage, and most lethal opponent, regardless of age, because power is the last thing to go in the meantime. Roy Jones Jr.'s viewpoint sheds light on a generational conflict that he believes to be absolutely stunning, using his extensive knowledge. Roy Jones Jr. quickly offered his viewpoint during an insightful discussion on Fox News. He began well. It was an experience that set the stage for his comments. He portrayed Tyson as a phenomenon that was unaffected by time. Mike Tyson is still one of the most devastating people on the planet. Jones emphasized his admiration for Tyson's enduring prowess, which was clear as he said he's still the person that everything will stop to see what he does, while praising Jake Paul's accomplishments. He also emphasized the enormous task that still lay ahead. "So for me, it's going to be tough for Jake to hit him, but it's going to be very difficult to put a glove on Mike Tyson's chin," Jones admitted, while underscoring the peril Jake Paul faces, that if Mike Tyson hits your chin first, it still spells trouble. The second interviewer shifted the focus to concerns beyond the sport. "Are you worried for Jake Paul's safety in this fight?" they asked, probing the ethical considerations of such a mismatch. Roy Jones Jr. responded in a thoughtful and real way. "His safety concerns me. He said that headgear and other safety measures reduce danger. His perspective went beyond the fight's immediate physical impact and included its wider implications. He added a shout out to Jake too, though, because Jake made this thing happen. This is something that the world will love to see because it makes two worlds come together. When you see guys like this get their blessing in life or gift in life, that's a beautiful thing. The former champion of the light heavyweight division gracefully intertwined his contemplations with a philosophical essence, weaving connections between the match and the mysterious yet captivating journey of life. Look where Mike's come from, and look where Mike's today, headlining still at 58 years old. Look what Jake came from, and look where Jake is today. He then invoked Conor McGregor's rags in Rich's story as a beacon of hope. Jane said these stories are absolutely marvelous. These stories continue to show us that God has to exist. Conor McGregor, one of my favorite people, came from a plumber to see where he is today, ignoring every critique hurled his way. Mike Tyson stands unwavering as he prepares for his imminent clash with Jake Paul in the boxing ring, despite a chorus of doubts from pundits and experienced athletes about Tyson's decision to face off against an opponent 30 years his junior. The boxing legend remains resolute with unshakable confidence. Tyson boldly proclaims that his magnetism draws a broader audience than most of today's boxers combined. Tyson said in an interview with Reuters, "I'm 58, and what I'm getting billions of views from just talking to somebody from fighting everybody, even most of the athletes they're jealous of. That's whack. He's 58, he's 57. I say in your prime you couldn't draw 1 million people, man. What are you talking about? You couldn't sell out an arena." Tyson boldly stated that envy is a common trait among many, especially athletes, in light of his achievements. Brushing off age-related critiques, he retorted that those who speak poorly of him couldn't draw a crowd or fill an arena, even in their peak years. Tyson added, "Why do you think he wants to fight me and not anybody else? Everybody wants to fight him. All the boxers want to fight him, but if he fights them, the only people that will come are the people that like him. The other guys, their parents might not even come to watch them. That's just keeping it real. They're too boring for their children to watch. It's like watching grass grow." Furthermore, Mike Tyson has definitely put an end to any rumors circulating about his forthcoming fight. Tyson has vehemently refuted these notifications, dispelling any uncertainties before the highly anticipated confrontation. As the highly anticipated match draws near, Tyson's training videos have ignited a frenzy across social media platforms. Despite his 57 years, Tyson exhibits astonishing agility and impressive strength, leaving spectators spellbound. Furthermore, during a recent interview with Fox News, the iconic boxer shared his motivations for returning to the ring, shedding light on his decision. Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.